What's up YouTube? Valentin the Mad here, and today I wanna discuss Rainbow Six Siege and Rainbow Six 3. This video was supposed to be a revisiting of Rainbow Six 3 with a few mentions of Siege. However, Game 3 does not seem to be running well on my system. I'm having frequent crashes, freezes on the deploying squad screen, and the sound randomly stops working and gets in a split-second sound loop. So with those issues in mind, I decided to change the format of this video to a suggestions video for Siege. The first part will be about the strong points of Game 3 that are very much missing in Siege. The second part will be other suggestions I had in mind while playing. The main things that in my opinion made Game 3 a much more intense experience are character vulnerability and limited user interface. The vulnerability means that all characters, operators and terrorists die very easily, in 1 or 2 bullets, and even if a miracle happens and you do survive, your character will be limping and moving significantly slower. The key idea here is that making a mistake or getting caught off guard has very harsh consequences. Now in Siege the characters are by no means bullet sponges, with the exception of this guy. However, the issue would be the consequences. Aside from losing health points, there aren't any, so it does feel like characters take more bullets than they should. Here's an example. My character was wounded and took a few more bullets. I now have 2% health remaining and I'm basically a cat scratch away from death. However, my movement and behavior are not affected in any way, shape or form. For all I care, my character could take off the gear, put on some comfortable running shoes and go do a marathon. So what am I suggesting? One of the 2 possible approaches. Option A, a damage model similar to that of Game 3. Very vulnerable characters, significantly slowed movement if taking damage, and the disabled state we already have in Siege. Option B, a more advanced damage model. Characters could take a similar amount of bullets to what they take now, however, they'll face consequences for being shot. Wounds in the legs and the torso will make the character limp and move significantly slower. Wounds in the arms will have a significant effect on accuracy. Characters could have a chance of losing balance and getting knocked off their feet when shot. You could also have 2 types of disabled states depending on the amount of damage the character took. In the first one, you'll be able to crawl away faster and even shoot, though with lowered accuracy. The second one would be similar to what we have now. You crawl away slowly. You can shoot, but you can hold the wound to slow the bleeding. The idea here is that a character should be more likely to go in a disabled state rather than die. The second thing that made Game 3 so intense is the limited user interface. This is all you have. Information about your weapon, your and your teammate's status, the next waypoint, and the name of the squadmate you are now aiming at. Now what do we have in Siege? This is the base HUD, your and your teammate's status, how much time you have, weapon info, gadget info, direction and location, the teammates in front of you, objective status and objective location. So far it's not too bad, but the issues begin on combat. Indicators on the direction you are taking fire from, indicators on the direction you are taking damage from, kill confirmations, numbers popping on screen every time you score, grenade indicators. Grenade range and damage are a joke, by the way. Indicators of spotted enemies through walls. You can see teammates through walls. And white tracers to show gunfire that's not directed at you. Those indicators heavily damage the element of surprise and kill a huge part of the immersion. You flanked someone but didn't kill them on the first burst? Too bad. Now they know exactly where you are. So what am I suggesting? A return to the limited user interface. Give the player only the most necessary information. Weapon and gadget status. Personal health and squadmate status. Objective location if spotted. And the name of the squadmate in front of you. A marker on spotted enemies can appear, but should only be there for 2 or 3 seconds. As for kill confirmations and the remaining players in PvP mode, here's my suggestion. First, no automatic kill confirmations. If you wanna let your squad know of a killed enemy player, the mechanic can resemble spotting. Look at the body and hold the spot button for a second or 2. The purpose of those suggestions is to regain that element of surprise and put more emphasis on tactics, teamwork and communication. Now I can imagine some people not liking those suggestions that would have a huge impact on the gameplay. However, the solution is very simple and can keep everyone happy. Put that stuff in a hardcore mode. That way anyone who likes the game as is will not experience any changes whatsoever. Should also be mentioned that most of the changes would not be difficult to implement. Lowering the amount of damage a character can take, a limping animation, and removing a bunch of stuff from showing on the screen. That's mostly it. Sure, an advanced damage model would be awesome, but even without it, you could potentially get many fans of the original games and fans of hardcore, unforgiving shooters interested in Siege. Another major difference is in the single-player experience. In Game 3 you have large complex levels that require planning. You could have several teams operate at the same time, and you could command the operators of your team. Also, operators who got badly wounded will be unavailable for the next couple of missions, and operators who got killed will obviously no longer be available at all. In Siege you can either play the terrorist hunt game mode solo, or do a bunch of challenges. Not particularly impressive single-player content. I think that Siege would benefit from a campaign with commendable AI operators, assault planning, and a similar consequence system whenever an operator gets badly wounded or killed. A few other points I wanna mention that are not related to Game 3. First, the response mechanics. This is the Gore Reviews channel and there's no way I'm not mentioning that, so... What you have in Siege is bloodstains on impact if there's a surface right behind the character, and a blood trail if the character was in a disabled state. Without making it incredibly gory, I think there is room for a few changes to make the experience more responsive. First, add wounds on the character. A blood-soaked area at the point of impact will work. Second, add blood pools for dead characters. Third, decrease the size of the bloodstains on impact. A huge stain does not equal gory. Also, make stains spawn on the floor if there is no wall right behind the character. Another thing would be the characters in PvP mode. As you're probably aware, Rainbow Six is about an international counter-terrorism unit with operators from around the world. So while I do think it's silly that they wear different uniforms when they work as the Rainbow unit, the truly odd thing here is that you have Rainbow operators on both sides in PvP. Makes it feel like the Ultimate Soldier Challenge show, rather than an actual hostage situation or a dirty bomb threat. So the suggestion here really is just to make different teams. Rainbow versus terrorists, instead of Rainbow versus Rainbow. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know how you feel in the comment section. If you wanna see a hardcore mod happen, feel free to let Ubisoft know about it and share this video around. Until next time.